But the pivotal moment for me came, bro, when I was at my desk, called my wife in tears because I'm like, how do we have life so good where for most people we've made it? Not paying to live in New York City, making a great six-figure salary. That's the American dream. But I still felt empty. Still felt like something was missing. And so I would call my wife in tears. Like, it's so hard to not feel ungrateful, but still desire more at the same time.
I'll be 37 in a couple of months, and I'm learning that right now, where I'm like, as soon as I open up my eyes, I get another chance. Another opportunity. So my wife has this mantra: every day we wake up, we get a chance and we get a choice. Whatever you do with it, it's up to you. God loves you so much, he gives you free will. It's Coach Darius D. Brown here, and we're back with another episode. And we have a very, very special guest here, man. But before we get started, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share with someone that you know that can benefit from this value. And we're going to continue to provide the value to keep the envelope pushing, guys. But without further ado, we have my brother Keston here. How you doing, bro?
Bro, I'm doing absolutely amazing, man. Really, really happy to be here and looking forward to this conversation.
Love it, man. Glad to have you on the platform, man. I'm going to share something with you guys. It's been long overdue. We've been trying to get this brother on the platform for a couple of months, but divine timing, right? Everything happens in divine timing. So we're glad to have you on the platform, bro. I think this is going to be a very organic. So, by the way, I was sharing with my brother Keston that I didn't curate any questions today.
Yeah.
I want this to be very authentic, very organic, to shift some lives. I think we're going to shift some lives today.
For sure, man. I think that an expectation for anyone, I don't know the questions that you're going to ask, but I could tell you for anyone, what you're going to get by the end of this are tools to break the cycles and patterns in your life that could change the trajectory of your life. I don't even care what questions he asks me. That's what you're going to get out of this.
Yes. Now, I want to give a brief bio of my brother Keston, because we're all about reciprocation, right? Reciprocal relationships, right? So when we have our guests come on this platform, we want our followers, our subscribers to tap in with our guests, because they're taking their time out of their day, but also they're providing real-time value, right? So maybe someone that's watching this episode right now and they're like, you know what? I need what he has to offer. Tap in with my brother. Keston is a transformational speaker, certified high-performance coach, Mind Insurance coach, entrepreneur, and founder of Mind Insurance Technologies. Originally from Trinidad and Tobago, right? Keston migrated to New York City, New York stand up, New York in 5, right? They won the championship, by the way. Come on now. For my New Yorkers, you know, after reaching 6 figures but still feeling deeply unfulfilled, he left during COVID, corporate America, alongside his wife, Jazz. They built a $10 million real estate portfolio in 3 years using 100% of OPM for the people in the back, other people's money. Through his coaching work, Keston began coaching a pattern. High performance often had the skills, drive, and discipline to succeed, but still kept hitting invisible ceilings. He developed the identity collision framework to name the hidden conflict between who people are, who they want to become, and who they used to be, which is super powerful. Super powerful. Today, Keston helps people become cycle breakers, right? Unlearning to relearn. People who identify and disrupt the patterns that shape their identity, relationships, purpose, and legacy. Through Mind Insurance and MIO, his AI-powered cycle breaking coach. He helps leaders protect their spiritual, mental, relational, and physical core while building a life that actually feels aligned. Super powerful. Without further ado, again, we welcome my brother, Mr. Keston, bro. So we're gonna get right into it, man. So you're from Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad.
Yes,
Trinidad. What's the difference between the two, Trinidad and Jamaica? Because a lot of people, you guys have similar accents. Yeah. Food is kind of similar. Is there some similarities there?
Well, I think that in every culture, in every island, there's always going to be different cultures, shapes, or ways that you do things based on the people that's there. So, for example, we live in Georgia, but you could go to different parts of Georgia and experience a different culture, right? Where you're on the same physical plane of land, but then you, based on the ethnicity, based on just different demographical stuff, you might experience something different. So I think that Trinidad and Jamaica, although very different, are very similar, where the Caribbean culture, the music we listen to, all of those things are very similar, but it really just comes down to the little intricate things where speaking is one. So we have different dialects. They're both English, but different dialects of that. It's almost like the home of reggae, right? For Trinidad, it's more of the home of soca.
Soca.
And so like they're just these really small, intricate details which come from history and who came there first, who helped us or had us in their colonized us first, because Trinidad was a colony of the British, and we gained our independence in 1962. So we were under the English ruling for a lot of years before gaining independence, and so that had a lot to do with how our culture, the things that we did, our practices. Where I'm not sure exactly who colonized Jamaica, but I believe it was
British.
Was it British too?
British. Yeah.
Okay, so very similar in that kind of way. But yeah, the music, that's some of the very differences. But we listen to a lot of reggae too.
That's a fact.
You know, you may not know this about me, but I also used to be a DJ.
Really?
I used to be a DJ.
Okay.
And I used to DJ reggae music more, and so I used to go to Jamaica a lot. And
Montego? What part?
All over Jamaica.
All over? Okay.
Literally, because I used to play at all the festivals, and I used to play on the streets. Like I traveled the world as a DJ, man. The biggest stage I played in was in Spain, 30,000 people.
Oh, wow.
And it was all through playing reggae music.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it, man. So what made you become a transformational speaker? Like, how did that come about?
For that to make sense, you'd have to get some context.
Let's get some context, man. I always tell our followers, in order to get to the fruit, you got to get to the root.
Yeah.
So let's get to the root of how you became a transformational speaker.
So in Trinidad, I call it the going from scumbag to who I am today, right? And so in Trinidad, I lived a life that I'm not proud of in terms of how I treated women, the things that we used to do, fighting, like just in the U.S. they call it gangs. In Trinidad, we called it squads, and what we would do there that was just what we did. And it wasn't because my parents weren't church people going to church every day. It was just
influence.
You know when sometimes you have life too good that you want to experience what it means to have it in a
Yeah.
different way.
Yeah, yeah.
And so although we had like where we lived like one of the biggest houses and all of that, I used to try to want to fit in, man. And so in trying to fit in, I just became that kid who had a great life, but used to do stuff to try to connect with people who lived a different life. And so going from there to becoming a man of God who feared God, who went from like treating woman, being a one woman man, and just that transformation of who I became. People started to notice that once we got into real estate, and you know, I'll get in that story whenever that time comes. And they started to ask me, bro, I know you don't believe that you're a coach, but I want you to coach me. And so the first guy that reached out sent me a DM on it, and I'm like, babe, what do you think I should do? Sent that screenshot to my parents, sent it to my wife, and my mom was like, bro, we've been telling you this is who you are. And that kind of was the catalyst for me doing it because of the outcome that I had with this guy. I'm like, whoa, what feeling is this? And I did it again and I did it again. And once I started leaning into my purpose of, hold on, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to help people go from who they used to be to becoming a different version of themselves. Once I started doing that, I realized this was one of the paths that I needed to take to get God's word out.
Sheesh.
And I really, like, I get nervous every single time I speak. Every single time I get nervous.
I wouldn't be able to tell. Is it conviction? And is it conviction? Is it conviction? Because a lot of people say they're nervous. Like, I'm nervous all the time, and people don't see it. But that's the conviction that God is like, I understand my purpose. So through the nervousness, I'm like, God, you called me to do this.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. So is it conviction through the nervousness?
Yes. Conviction makes me continue.
Wow.
That's it. It's and this is why I started studying neurology and all the different things, because I wanted to understand not only the spiritual part. I feel like church helps you with the spiritual part, but if we're mind, body, and spirit, then there are things that we could do for the spirit and the soul, but there's the physical aspect that we leave out. And not working out physical, I mean, like, how does the brain actually work? Because you could be doing stuff for the soul and the body is still gonna just do whatever it was programmed to do. And in understanding that, once I started learning, I worked for a year with a board certified neurologist and just learned a ton, man. It blew my mind. And so just knowing the conviction of understanding how to transform, because I did it not knowing how I did it. But once people started paying me, I'm like, I got to know this for real, not just motivation, tell you to say some declarations. That only goes so far. But how do you actually transform your mind predictably? That's what I'm after, and that conviction of understanding how to makes me figure out all the other things to get past my nervousness. And so, like, I'm nervous even coming here. I do this breath work because I know how to calm my nerves. I know how to get nervousness is literally just your brain and your breathing going two different directions.
Sheesh.
That's what gives you anxiety. And so if you could get those two to get back in harmony, then you'll be regulated. Your nervous system gets back in regulation. So I do this quick practice where I do breathe in for 4, hold for 8, breathe out for 7. It's the 4-8-7 breathing framework.
Okay.
And if you count as you breathe, counting is your brain and breathing is you actually holding. So that's how your breath and your thinking gets back in regulation, and it just calms your nervous system.
God is powerful.
Yeah.
God is powerful.
Super.
I was looking out this morning at the trees, and I'm like, everything correlates to who we are with the nature. Mm-hmm. Nature and humans, everything correlates. Mm-hmm. From trees.
1,000%.
Oxygen, the whole, like, when you understand the landscape of what God has created, you'll appreciate life more. And I'm learning that right now. I'm learning that after I'm 36, bro. I'll be 37 in a couple of months. And I'm learning that right now where I'm like, as soon as I open up my eyes, I get another chance.
Yeah.
Another opportunity.
Yeah.
So my wife has this mantra. Every day we wake up, we get a chance and we get a choice.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Whatever you do with it, it's up to you.
Yeah, 1,000%.
God loves you so much, he gives you free will. So, powerful, man, powerful. Yeah, man, so real estate. So for those that don't know, those that are new to our channel, right, we're all about providing real value in real time. This is Keeping It Real with the Browns. So let's kind of pivot into real estate. You and your wife are in the real estate business. How did that come about? What made you say, you know what? I'm a guy from Trinidad. You know, I come from humble beginnings. My mom and my dad, they did the best that they could. Now, you know, I go through these ebbs and flows through life, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I make mistakes financially.
Yep.
Let's pivot into real estate. How did that come about?
So, again, I'm a runway to take off kind of guy, right? So real estate, prior to real estate, when I met my wife, I was doing an Amazon business. I had just started an Amazon business. And once we got going with Amazon, there came up some leadership deficiencies in me that made me stop my Amazon business for 2.5 years to learn how to be a better leader, learn how to break a pattern that I started to see present where my wife, Jazz, she started to say things that the person that I was married to before, my son's mom, and somebody that I was engaged to be married and gave me back my ring, started to say. And so I normally joke and say I was divorced 1.5 times before. Right?
Hold on. Expound on that, bro. For the people in the back. You lost me on there, too. What's that? What is that?
Because I got divorced from my son's mom.
Okay.
And I was engaged to be married, and she gave me back my ring.
Sheesh. Okay.
Right? And they all started to say the same thing. Jazz started to say the same thing. And so I realized that it was a deficiency in me.
Wow. So you held yourself 100% accountable.
Yes.
You didn't hold the other party accountable.
Well,
in that moment, or did you?
It's not. See, the word accountability, what it really means is, I think we have a societal meaning for accountability, and what I believe it means. And so the definition I like to go by with accountability is, did I do what I said I'm going to do?
Okay.
Right? So for me, holding myself accountable is, did I live up to the type of man that I said I was supposed to be?
Gotcha.
It's up to her to hold herself accountable. Now, were there things that they could have done better in those situations? 1,000%. But that's not my truth and story to tell. That's theirs. I could only change me.
Got it.
And so from that perspective, I'm able to see the things that I could have done better, because 3 times, 3 of the same feedback, I'm the common denominator, I'm the problem, right? So shutting down my business for 2.5 years to work on me, to just really figure out how to lead my wife in the right way, that was very useful. Now, coming out of that, we started doing Uber together. We started printing T-shirts together, and we just started trying different businesses together simply because I knew, and I used to be a cybersecurity engineer while this was going on. And so we had a great job and, bills were paid. We were living really good. But I knew that there was more to life. And so real estate came about because of studying and realizing this is what rich people do, right? So in 2020, I guess we was in the basement of our New York apartment coming up with different things. And so we was just experimenting different businesses. And so we chose real estate because it was the end goal for rich people. I'm like, if we start with what they end with, then we would be able to help rich people, but also become rich at the same time.
That's so good. That's so good.
And so that was my logic. And until once I started getting into it, then I started to understand more. But we made the decision before we understood what real estate investing really even meant.
So a lot of people want to get in real estate, but they're looking at the gurus online, right? They're looking at the end result, but they're not understanding the process. They're not understanding changing your relationship on money, your viewpoint on money, how you view money, how you view assets, right? What's that one piece of advice that you can give our followers today that may be a real estate agent or, looking to invest in real estate? What would be that advice that you would give them before they're going into it so they don't make the same mistakes that you made?
Yeah, I would say define why you're going in for real estate, because there are two primary reasons. It's not the only reasons, but they should lead your thought process. Do I want cash flow? Meaning, do I want money every month coming from my real estate? Or do I want equity? Is this an investment where 10 years from now I get paid back from it? So I'm okay not making money today, but I'm gonna make money tomorrow.
It's a long term. It's a long game.
Play.
Yeah.
I think not understanding that fundamental perspective, getting in, disappoints people, because if it's cash flow, then you shouldn't. And most people would say, well, I want both, and I could understand that too, but it depends on where you currently are in life. If you're trying to leave a job or you're trying to replace income, then I would advise you to go do the cash flow play. Now, a cash flow play, I'll give you what I did. We went out and got started in Warner Robins. Warner Robins is outside of Atlanta. It's outside of the metro area, and it's about an hour and a half. It was an hour and a half away from where we live in Atlanta. And everybody was like, dude, why are you going that far? One of the benefits of coming from being a cybersecurity engineer is that I understand data. And so I understood what my goals were. I knew I wanted cash flow. I knew I wanted to replace the hustle of needing a deal every week, every month, because we wholesaled before and we did really well wholesaling, but you had to get a new lead. You had to do all the work,
the sweat equity
to get a lead. And I didn't like the anxiety because my mindset of becoming an entrepreneur hadn't shaped yet. And I think understanding, not judging, just calling it what it is, you're used to getting paid every month from your job. You're not used to having to perform, quote unquote. You show up and you do your work, but not if I don't do this, then I don't get paid. You're kind of comfortable getting a paycheck. You're kind of in that mix. With business, period, especially wholesaling, the hustle of getting a lead, closing a deal, getting it to the finish line to get paid, that gave me anxiety. And so I'm like, I need cash flow, because cash flow would get me paid. My tenants is going to pay me every month because they have to. Right now, of course, could you go through stuff where your tenant don't pay you? Yes, but it was a mindset shift for me. So I'm like, cash flow is my priority right now. So I don't need an asset that appreciates tomorrow to get $10,000, 20, 30, 100,000 that I can't touch. I need to touch this money every month because I wanted to replace my current income. I don't want to feel like I have to work for money. So that made me say, okay, a place that the data said, if you don't need a place that appreciates very high, then you could go in a cash flow market like Warner Robins, where the properties are great, good value, there's still good rents, so you could collect a whole lot, but your asset is not going to grow.
Stable.
Like how it's stable. It holds its value. It goes up like a little bit compared to like Atlanta and the metro areas. And so I picked based on cash flow, bro. And I think when you know that, the competition is a lot less when you go on cash flow markets. You do deal with more, let's say, lower quality people. So your vetting process has to be better. And so there are things that there's always do this to compensate for that once you start understanding the game. But anyone trying to get into real estate right now, the main thing you got to know, do I want cash flow, replace that income today? And am I willing to get in a market where I could have the house for 5 years and it's probably going to appreciate by $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 versus like 50, 100,000.
So is it more so like real estate is volatile? It's a volatile market, right? You have that person watching right now and they're thinking right now, look, I have $10,000 that I want to invest, real estate or the stock market. What would you suggest?
I would say you should do what you are skilled at, that you have more knowledge in. Because I think that they're both really good. Back in the day, I used to say the opposite. I would tell people you have to get into real estate. Stocks is trash and all that. But the more I learned, I realized that is not true. There are way more, stocks has made way more millionaires in this country than real estate has. Hands down. It's not even disputable. I've done the data research on that. I think marketing for real estate has done a really great job of positioning it. But I would say, I wouldn't tell people to get into real estate first. No, I would tell people, understand business first.
Come on, hold on. Well, I want to back up real quick because you mentioned as far as real estate, the long game, right? Understanding longevity when you get into this thing. There's something called sustainability. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, we live in a microwave era. Everybody, we want it quick. And even with us, you know, me and my wife, we bought our first home. We were very young, very naive, very green. And all I kept thinking was the bottom line. We bought our home with a 580 credit score. And I was like, all right, my wife was in property management at the time. And I was like, you know what? We're going to just put some tenants in the home. You're already in property management. We'll stay on property, live rent-free, stack up our bread. But I wasn't thinking long-term, longevity. You know, we had to go through what they call trial and error.
Sure.
And in the interim of that, I learned something that you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
The biggest expense in life is what we don't know.
Sure.
And it can cost you so much.
A whole lot.
So I feel like information is the fertilizer to our wealth. I do feel like information is not only the fertilizer to our wealth, but a lot of people are not willing to execute on the information. 100%. So you have that person right now watching. They'll get intrigued. they'll hear what Keston has to say, but they won't take action to what you did. What was that pivotal moment of your life when you and your wife Jazz got into real estate where you said, I'm making these moves, I'm doing what I need to do for my family? Because I'm pretty sure everything you do, you think about, you live for your last name.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Not just your first name, but your last name, right? What was that pivotal moment for Keston where you were like, enough is enough. I'm locking all the way in, and this is how I was able to build a $10 million portfolio.
Yeah. Bro, the pivotal moment, and I remember it so clearly, man, was being at my desk when as a cybersecurity engineer. Bro, my office is on the 34th floor, window views. I could see across the Brooklyn Bridge on Wall Street. We had life pretty made in terms of even the property that we owned, because I owned this property in New York City. We lived in the basement. I put my parents on the first floor, and then I had a tenant on the top floor. So we were living rent-free, mortgage-free, bills paid in New York City while making six figures.
Hold on, but how did you know that? Like, how did you know to make that move, to make that play?
That was intuition. I did not strategize my way there.
Sheesh.
I'll tell you. It just made sense to me that I needed to own. And not only did I need to own, that I didn't want to pay for to live. And so I ended up using, this is pure game right here. I ended up using this institution called NACA, NACCA. Bought my first home with NACA, no down payment, no closing cost. Matter of fact, I was in debt and was not supposed to be able to qualify. And I just flipped a few things to be able to make it happen. So when we bought the first home, I'm like, I'm going to buy a 2-family home where I'm going to live in the basement and rent the other 2. That was just my mindset. I'm like, I don't care to live in one of the homes. I'm going to live in the basement. So I'm looking for a 2-family home with a basement with a separate entrance. That's 3. And if I could live for free, then I'll be able to move on to figure out what else I wanted to do with life.
Gotcha.
That's how I started. Anybody that want to get into real estate, I think you should start there. Go to NACA, go through the process, get a free home, because that's how I see it. And then you start building from there. Because now everything that's coming in from your job, you could choose to do whatever you want with it. So that's how I started the Amazon business. That's how I started flying around the world, just doing all these different things. But the pivotal moment for me came, bro, when I was at my desk, called my wife in tears, because I'm like, how do we have life so good where for most people we've made it? Not paying to live in New York City, making a great 6-figure salary. That's the American dream. But I still felt empty. I still felt like something was missing. And so I would call my wife in tears. Like, it's so hard to not feel ungrateful, but still desire more at the same time.
Wow, that contentment. Ooh, that's my struggle too, brother. I know it so well.
Bro, that was it.
What scripture? You're a man of faith. What scripture led you to reduce that desire of not appreciating what you have now, what God is giving you now?
Bro, I'll tell you, at that point in time, I was a man of faith, but I didn't really know a scripture. I was just talking to God raw. Like, bro,
Come on.
What do I do with this?
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I would just kind of go labor to him and cry and be like, I'm frustrated. I feel like you've blessed me, and but I feel like there's more to life. And he had been told me to leave my job, bro. Been told me. When I met my wife, I told her while I was dating her that I knew I needed to leave my job. And it was going to be before I turned, I'm retiring before I turn, was it 35, I think? I'm retiring before I turn, it was 35. And no, it was less. It was like 32 or something like that. And when COVID happened and we could work remotely, she was like, do you think this is what God meant when he said, you still have a job, but you still have the freedom? And I always had freedom. I went in the office at least like twice a week, once a week. I'd work several days from home, but I'm like, that wasn't it. And here's when it really hit. I had already made up my mind to leave my job. We had just bought our first course. Didn't do a deal yet, but I was so convicted in what God had put on my heart that I was like, I'm done. And then one of my old boss called me and was like, hey, we're going to offer you $50,000 more than you're making now if you come work for me. Now, you got to understand, as a corporate guy, making good six figures already, adding another 50 to that, like 50,000 is somebody's salary.
Right.
So another 50 with no bills, no anything. Now my wife is like, babe, this is an opportunity. This is like, and I didn't need to interview. He was like, you just go through the process. I got you. That's when I knew I had to leave. I'm like, this ain't a blessing. This is a trap. Because the devil can have you, if the devil can only satisfy you with something good, you will never go to great. Wow. And I felt like that was the dangling carrot, I call it, where he wanted me to settle for less than what God had promised me.
So good. So good.
Wow. And I said no. I turned it down because that was the first time I felt like I was cheating on my purpose. And at that time, I had no idea what it was. But I was willing to say, God, you guide. I'm trusting you.
Surrender.
Surrender. Pure surrender. Walking away from 200,000 to say, no idea, never done it before.
Yeah.
But I was frustrated enough because I knew what it was like to have everything and still feel like you got nothing.
Wow. That's so good, bro. I mean, I've been through it, man. A lot of people that's watching this have been through it. I left corporate 2019. It was a Wednesday, April 10th, 2019. I never forget. I called my wife. I said, I'm out. What? Our daughter was maybe 4, at the time. Our son wasn't born yet. I'm out. I was, a man of faith. So the words that I was using wasn't a man of faith. Yeah. But I'm done. And looking back in retrospect, man, we've gone through ebbs and flows, gone through setbacks, gone through trials, tribulations. But I wouldn't trade it. And it's like you get that nudge. People call it gut feeling. Mm-hmm. I call it God feeling. Mm-hmm. Where you have that something right here in that inner core where you move. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are not willing to move when he says move.
Yeah. But let's talk on that for a second.
Because when you say you left $200,000 a year, right? A lot of people like, bro, what? You're 30-something years old at the time. How did you just move? Like, what is that person that hasn't, their faith is not anchored right now?
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
So this is what I call the identity collision, where who you are collides with who you want to be because of who you used to be. And I could speak on it now that I'm on the other side. I didn't know this is what I was going through then. I had seen visions of the promises of God, of seeing a different life. I knew that entrepreneurship or business, and like I knew there was more. I wasn't super clear on exactly what it was, but once we committed to real estate, I'm like, it's gonna be within this realm. Like I just need the next step. The next step is real estate. I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna go all in on that. But the thing about getting into real estate, where we finally pulled the trigger in 2020, is that I actually started to get into real estate in 2015. 2015, I had bought DVDs for wholesaling and try to get in, and I had an experience where
Hold on, what's DVDs for the people in the back that don't understand that?
DVDs is like, picture having a YouTube channel on a disc where you could see a video or a video on a disc, and you put it into the TV. It's like a CD, but for video and for TV. And so we got these DVDs, and I wanted to do real estate. And so got connections. My mom, she knew people who were real estate investors in New York City. Now, New York is expensive, right? So doing real estate in New York is very different than doing real estate in Atlanta.
Those brownstones is expensive, people.
It's expensive. We talking about $1 million plus homes, right? And bro, I remember finding a property, studying the DVDs, finding the property. My mom hooked me up with an investor who knew buyers. Met up with the guy at the property, the guy and a real estate agent. The house is boarded up. The real estate agent takes down the board. We start walking into the house, and you could hear the floors creaking. You could cobweb everywhere, moving the cobweb. And this real estate investor started to say, we got in the kitchen. He was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be about 50,000 here. And then he went in the bathroom. Oh, this about 10,000 there. And bro, he started to call numbers that just hurt my head, bro. I was like, this ain't real.
This is just renovations.
This is for renovation.
Okay.
Now you got to remember, at this point in time, the most money that I'm talking about, although I'm making 6 figures a year, you and your friends, you're talking about $1,000 is a lot of money, bro.
You can't comprehend it.
You can't, bro. I could not comprehend it. This dude, this is what broke it. This is what broke me. He said, we would need to put in about 200,000 and we'll be able to sell it for about 1.5 million. I never called him back. I'm like, this guy's about to scam me.
Yeah.
I'm like, which random stranger, and he was white, right? Which random, and I, 90% of my clients are not my race. So I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
For sure. We love all.
So, but at that time, my mindset and my frame was like, this is a scam. The first time you meet me, you telling me we about to make $1.5 million, and I have not even made or spent more than...
That's like you're 8Xing your initial investment. Close to it. Maybe 7Xing the investment. Yeah.
Couldn't comprehend. Never call him back.
Wow.
Because that identity of what I told myself, who I used to be, is that you got to do something right. You got to do it yourself. You don't borrow money from people. And let's be real. These are all things I've heard my parents say. I didn't know that this was the root that was pulling me back to who I was at the time. And I found every reason to justify, bro, you already got a house. You're already living for free. You're already making great six figures. You don't need to do this. I started justifying my perfect life and never calling back. And that was because I had an identity collision. The who I wanted to be collided with who I used to be, and it made me stay stuck. And that's why most people don't move. Because they go through that same process of they could see a future. They know God is calling them to do something. They know they're supposed to be doing more. But all of the things that they learned when they were a kid, and they may not be conscious that they're even doing this. The reasons start pulling them back. You can't do this. I could just go borrow money from a stranger. Bro, we built our portfolio 100% with other people's money. But that was a whole new paradigm. And when you have those two people pulling you, it's like trying to press the accelerator and the brakes at the same time. You're just going to be spinning, not going nowhere.
Spinning the wheels.
And so that's what happened to me in 2015. And I was determined to not let that happen again in 2020.
Do you look back in retrospect and say, dang, why did I not call that man back?
No, I don't. And because I believe that it has helped me to be able to communicate clearly what people go through now.
Expound on that.
So I went through the process to be able to look back and share today. This is why you're not moving.
That's good.
And I'm not, I just believe that God takes you on journeys, not for you, but to use you. And because I'm okay being used by God, it may look, I might be in the gutter, in the Daniel's den, right? For a long time. But I'm like, I know you're going to use this at some point, bro.
So good. So good. Man, guys, listen, make sure you like, subscribe. We're going to have Keston's credentials in the description. Wow, bro. I had to put the laptop up, guys. You guys know Coach D Brown. But now I'm a student. And we go through things in life, right? Mm-hmm. And while we're in the storm, right? When Jesus was on the boat and everybody's panicking. Mm-hmm. He says to the storm, peace, be still.
Yeah.
He tells the storm. He names the storm peace.
Yeah.
Life is all about perspective. Mm-hmm. He tells the storm peace. Mm-hmm. Think that if you emphasize on that,
yeah,
peace, be still.
Yeah, that's good.
So that storm, you going through those ebbs and flows through life. You're this guy. I ain't gonna call him back. Boom, and you look back and you say, you know what? I take this for my lesson to be someone else's blessing.
100%.
And there's someone right now watching this and they're saying, Keston, I want to get unstuck. Mm-hmm. I want to unlearn to relearn. Mm-hmm. I want to be a better version of myself. My future self is waiting on me. Yeah. But I'm hitting the accelerator and the brake at the same time. Yeah. What would you say to that person right now? Well,
this is where I kind of go through like a framework. It's a mind insurance framework. And mind insurance really just comes from the concept of, like, when you really think about it, we have insurance policies for every asset that we own. Our car, our house.
Scam.
Like,
I'm sorry.
Right? But,
yeah.
But what is that insurance policy supposed to do? It's supposed to protect you for when some type of collision happens, some type of crisis comes. The only asset that's not protected is our mind. Wow. Only asset that's not protected is our mind. You could have protection for your wedding ring, and they're gonna replace it if you lose it.
Sheesh.
But our minds,
they take it back.
But our minds, we don't have protection for. And so this mind insurance framework that I'm about to go through is, how do you protect your mind from collisions, the identity collision that's going to happen because we all go through it in different seasons, to navigate the feeling of imposter syndrome, to navigate the negative thoughts, to navigate all of these different things that might come up, self-doubt, whatever it is. Here's what I've found to be true. The first thing you got to do, and I'll take you through a regular insurance purchase, right? Let's say you bought a car. You bought a new 2026 Tesla, let's say, right? When you're there and you want insurance, you call, let's say you call Geico. Somebody on the other line is like, oh, Darius, amazing. What type of Tesla is it? Oh, it's the Tesla. What's your favorite Tesla? You a Tesla guy? Mm-mm. Okay, so let's say it's a Tesla X, right? Okay. Or the Cybertruck. Let's go with the Cybertruck.
Okay, Cybertruck, right. Yeah.
So, it's a 2026 Cybertruck. Great. What color? Okay, how many miles do you think you're going to drive? All of these questions the person on the other side is asking. It's one of the longer part of the buying a car process. And all of those details, down to the VIN number they ask for, is to get details for that specific car.
So they're collecting data.
They're collecting data for that specific car because there are thousands of other cars like it, but the details makes them be able to pinpoint that car. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Down to the VIN number.
Gotcha.
Similarly, when people have goals, they don't have details down to the VIN number.
Wow. Oh.
Because you want to get into real estate. Great. What type of real estate?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. How many homes do you want to have? Do you want it for cash flow or do you want it for appreciation?
Whoa.
And so there are all of these questions where somebody gets into their goal or whatever, or they get into the vicinity of what they want to do, and they think that they're making moves, but something comes up in details that they didn't figure out first, and they're thrown off because now they're surprised. And when you're surprised, the likelihood of going back is a lot higher.
It's a lot higher.
The self-doubt starts coming up because you didn't have the details down to the VIN number.
That's good. I always say in order to be prolific, you have to be specific.
You got to.
You have to be very specific.
You got to.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's the first part of how do you protect your mind from all of these things? You need details, bro.
But that person is like, yo, Keston, I mean, give that person, okay, that's for someone they understand, but that practical framework, right? Where they're like, Keston, okay, it makes sense. But I've been so accustomed for 30 years. You got that 30-year-old watching this right now. Yeah. They're like, yo, like, it's easier said than done.
What's easier said than done?
Like, just being able to identify and understand, like, identifying where they are, where they want to be, like their future self is saying, Keston, like, Keston, I'm waiting on you. I'm right here. What's that one practical framework that you can give that person right now, today, watching this, that can say, take this one practical step just today? Because I'm a firm believer. I live by a 1% rule.
Yeah.
Every day I get better by 1%.
Yep.
I don't look. It's a long. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? So I live by 1%. 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, I go for my run, I go to the gym, I read, I devotional, all that. Every day is not perfect.
Yeah.
But I always identify that 1%. Darius, get better by 1% every day.
Yeah.
So that person right now watching, like Keston, what you just said makes sense, but man, I need that practical framework, brother.
See, and I think this is where people crash and burn, bro. Because that's as practical as it gets. And I think because it seems so easy that people skip over it because it's the boring thing. Like we could go into it. It's the boring part. It's the part that's the most frustrating because you don't want to get that clear. And we wanted to go biblical, write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just understanding and writing it and making it plain and super clear as a first step. There's a reason why. Literally, it's like having an address for a GPS. You don't put in Atlanta. If I try to give you my address and I just said, hey, pull up to Atlanta, that's like saying I want to do real estate. You're going to be in the vicinity,
Right.
but you're not going to find me.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
So without you could have the zip code. I could even give you the zip code. You're closer.
Right.
You're still not going to find me.
Right.
You need the house. I could give you the street. You're still not going to find me. You need the house number, bro. You only find me with the house number. Specific. And bro, it is the most frustrating part. It is the most boring part. It's not glamorous. But it's the one, like, I can leave today and feel and know that I did my part in giving value. Right now. Because it's the one thing that changes everything. Getting specific. Why do you think I scaled so fast in 3 years? Data, specific. It was so boring. Now, I didn't start with data because I jumped in and just started doing wholesaling. And we were doing good. But then I'm like, bro, I want cash flow. And then I got real specific. I knew exactly where. I knew the zip codes. I knew the who I needed to talk to. And so it became just boom, 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 boom.
Doing the tedious work. You got to fall in love with the tedious work.
Bro.
People don't want to do that.
Up front, you do your data analysis, you understand to the T, and then you just run the play every single day. You do the tedious, boring stuff. Yeah. But I'm telling you, bro, that one thing, you get real specific, bro, to the zip code, you will get further that way. And I'm not saying that in a procrastinating way. Don't do it to just get all the data and procrastinate. Because within that, you're only as smart as the information that you currently have. So you got to realize that what you currently know, you can't get you where you need to go. You need somebody else to help you get there.
Yeah.
And so that's why I firmly believe in coaches and mentorship. Because you now take their information and fill the gap with what's necessary. That's how you get specific. You don't get specific on your own. You get the A to Z from a mentor, and that helps you to get more specific. Right? And here's the thing with that now. Because the second part of the process, when somebody tells you exactly what you need to do, like getting down to the zip code, what happens after you call for insurance, you tell them everything, then they give you a quote. Now, if you decided that you wanted a Lambo and you got a quote for $3,000 a month, you would be like, ooh, I can't do that right now. Fair enough. So then you go back to your Tesla. You could afford the Tesla. You may not be able to afford the Lambo. That takes you to the second part of the framework is, are you willing to pay the price? Because what would it look like if you bought the Lambo, you didn't know it was $3,000, and the first month is $3,000, and you're like, man, I got to return this. This is what people do with their goals, bro.
You don't know what you're getting into.
Don't know what you're getting into. So you took on way more than you could afford that you're even willing to do.
Putting that weight on your shoulders instead of waiting.
Yes.
PD talked about it last week.
Yes.
A weight.
Exactly.
Turns into weight.
A weight.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So you see why that first part is so practical now. Mm-hmm. Because if you get to part two, where you start and it starts to look glamorous. You got glam for a month, but then that first payment is due. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, bro. I don't know if I can really do this. Now your subconscious is reminding you of every time you failed. Your people are looking. All of this is now starting to happen because now you got to perform to try to keep up. Because you don't want to, you already got the Lambo. You don't want your friends now to see, oh, bro, what happened to the Lambo? So now you're performing, you're doing a whole lot more than you're supposed to or called to,
right,
to try to keep up this image that you created, but it's a weight.
It's a weight.
It's a weight on you.
Wow.
Are you willing to pay the price? Wouldn't you like to know before when you're quoted, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go somewhere else, or I'm gonna just get a different car. Because when you know now, and you just get a different car, and again, it's no judgment. You're just not in that place to carry that kind of weight.
Right.
And so you take something else on that you can manage, and you rock out with that.
What are you willing to give up in order to go up?
What is that?
Are you willing to give up the Lambo to stop impressing people that you don't know, that don't care about you? I think that's the thing. We live in this society of impressing people that don't care about us. And
100%, man.
We're living in this Pharaoh cycle.
100%.
Man, listen. What are you willing to give up in order to go up?
And I think when somebody could assess and understand, and there are different prices to pay here. One is a monetary price, because this is where I'm going to need the coach to help me close the gap. To get there, you're not going to be able to do it off of YouTube videos. You're going to need that mentor. It's going to get you started. It's going to get you in the vicinity, but it's not going to give you the address.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got, am I willing to invest to have a mentor? Then I believe you also need a coach, because there's a difference between a mentor and a coach.
I was going to say, if you can tell the audience, the difference.
So a coach gives you the framework as to what to do. A mentor, gives you the framework as to what to do. They give you their life's knowledge as to what to do. A coach helps you to get there and execute.
Navigate.
Step by step, because you're going to need somebody to give you the water when you're down, when you're thirsty, the encouragement, the whatever you need to get there. Most people expect their mentors to be their coaches, and that's why they fail. That's the reason why when they get into...
Hold on, say that one more time for the people in the back, bro.
Your coach and your mentor are not the same. This is why you fail.
Most people, they expect their mentor
to be their coach. They expect their mentors to be their coach. And when you do that, you come in with that expectation that they're supposed to get you there when their job is to give you the information. It's very different.
I always say this. Me and my wife tell our mentees this all the time. It's our responsibility on giving you the information.
Yes.
It's your responsibility on what you do with it.
Exactly. Because you're mentoring them.
But it's like you want everyone to make guarantees to you, but you're not willing to make guarantees to yourself.
100%.
You wake up, oh, well, you say you were, but what are you doing for what? You wake up in the morning, look at the man in the mirror.
But even that, bro, is them not understanding there's a gap. You've gotten the information, which is what I give you. Now if you need help and you can't execute on your own, you need a coach to help you day by day to get there.
That's good. That's good.
Right?
Yes.
There's a difference. And I feel like so many people fail because they have the expectation that their mentor was supposed to be their coach. People that got into entrepreneurship, people that got into wanting to change their life, they got the information so they know what to do, and they have that expectation that you are supposed to help them get there when your job is to give you the information.
So they're basically going in setting false expectations.
100%. And I think as a mentor and a coach, because I do both in terms of in different vicinities, I mentor in certain things and I coach certain things. I think that we could have done a better job of setting that expectation as well.
How do you, what's that mentor right now watching this, or that coach watching this? What's that framework? What does that look like on the front end to set the realistic expectation to ensure that your mentee is not going into an investment or to a situation where they're like, well, I thought this. Like, how does that look?
My job is to give you the information.
On the discovery call,
Yep.
what does that look like though? Like, I'm Darius coming to Keston. Listen, man, I'm stuck in my business. I came across your post. I've been watching you for a while. What does that look like?
So I might be a little bit more explicitly brutal in how I explain this because I don't want the backlash.
Okay.
Right?
Keeping the road with the Browns. Let's go.
I say it's not my job to help you get there. When I'm mentoring you, it's my job to give you the information. Getting there day by day, execution, that is on you. I'm going to tell you what to do. If there are other things that come up as you try to go, I'm okay with telling you what I've done if I had experienced that. But mentorship is me giving you my life's information. Here it is. Coaching is, man, today was rough. I don't feel like getting up. Or, yo, how do you, the day by day execution, a coach might be able to help you way more on that.
That's good. So good.
It's the accountability. Yo, bro, did you get up and do X, Y, or Z? Mm-hmm. It's all of that. That fits under coaching, not mentoring.
Yeah. I had to set healthy boundaries going into mentorship. I started my mentorship program maybe like 2.5 years ago. And my wife was like, babe, you got to stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm giving too much.
Yeah.
Where I used to host these mindset training calls every Monday. And one particular Monday, man, my wife didn't feel it. Our children didn't feel it. I'm in my zone, bro. I'm going in. As soon as I hit the end on the Zoom call, I had a nervous breakdown. I literally lost it. My wife runs out the room. Babe, what's up? I said, I need to get out of here because I'm not only about to explode, I'm about to implode. I was there. I was so depleted. I felt so depleted and defeated, bro, because I was pouring in everybody's cup and nobody was pouring back into mine because I wasn't setting those healthy boundaries. I didn't have parameters up.
Yeah.
My mentees, I'm giving everything and people taking it for granted. And they're like, oh, this dude, he gonna be there. He's passionate. He's the passionate guy.
Yeah. And
looking back, but like you say, like, I don't have any regrets. But that particular moment, my wife dropped me off to the mountain. I was like, I just want to go to the mountains. I spent 3 days in the mountains. I'll show you the picture after this. And I was in my lodge. I stayed at a lodge. And I was watching a Joyce Meyer sermon. The next day I'm grilling. And I look up and I see angel wings in the sky. I say, God, your message is clear. He gave me everything. He said, son, I got you. But right now, it's time to set healthy boundaries in your business. Because I always felt like it was something that I had to prove to everybody. So that's where, like this is what I'm over explaining. I'm over exerting. I'm over, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes total sense.
And I was like, dude, now I know what I offer.
Yeah.
My value is my value. I don't, this is what it is.
Yeah.
My process is my process. You come, you're reaching out for a reason. So like you say, the information is here.
Yes.
It's what you do with it.
What you do with it. You gotta, and honestly, bro, I actually like coaching. I like both. I enjoy coaching a lot because there's a gap. There's not a lot of coaches. There's more mentors than coaches.
Yeah.
I enjoy getting people to their results because I understand the identity collision that they go through. You've made a decision to change your life. What you don't know yet is that that old person is going to try to pull you back. I understand it so well. I understand the neurology of it and the decision making of it and all of that. And so I invested more of my time in doing the coaching aspect than even the mentoring aspect in several different ways, because even down to the intelligence that I created to be able to help people do it at scale, because that's going to help you with the rewiring of your mind practically.
Is there a link that we can provide for our viewers that we
Yes,
can, that
yes.
can send us so we can, yeah.
100%. And it's literally my first last name / Mio,
Okay.
MIO, and be able to get it there.
So we'll make sure, guys, we'll have Keston's credentials in the description, so you guys can tap in with him. Oh, man, this is so good, bro. I don't want to stop. I think we'll have to do like a part 2 to this, seriously, bro.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so much to unpack. I'm learning so much, and you got my mind juices flowing right now, bro.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, even in the season that I'm in, that I don't know it all, and I'm still setting those healthy boundaries. I'm still setting as a coach. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor as well, a business owner. My wife and I, and we are in a season of. There's a difference between. I'm so passionate about what I do. Darius, you're so passionate. People sometimes take that for granted. Mm-hmm. They're like, so I go into every business deal, every situation now, where I don't go in with the expectation. Mm-hmm. It's middle ground. Mm-hmm. Cool. I go in professional, of course.
Yeah.
It's middle ground. Boom. Here. Level-headed. Boom. Yeah. Back then, I was excited. Yeah, I'm passionate. Boom. I want you to know that I'm here for you, to serve you. I'm here. It will always bite me in the butt, bro.
Well,
so how is that now? Because you got a Darius out there watching, mm-hmm. and they're like, I'm like that too, man. And people are always giving me the short end of the stick.
So I think that it's important to care. I think that as a mentor, as a coach, caring is its own currency, because I do believe that there is a lot of coaches and mentors that do not care. So I do think that that is a superpower. Now, when it comes to caring, I mean, like you said, having healthy boundaries is really important. And if you're able to look at your life in these 4 pillars: mental, spiritual, relational, and physical, it really helps to understand the boundaries that you need, because you need boundaries for all. So, spiritual, how do you get spiritually refilled every day? What does that look like? And I like to define spiritual not only as, so there are 3 pillars, 3 sections to spiritual for me. You have your source, God. You have your identity, and then your purpose. God gives you your identity, how you see yourself, who you believe yourself to be. Then your identity gives you your purpose. And if it is that you are not in or have connection to any of those 3, you'd always feel empty. You'd always feel empty. And without having that boundary, it could show up in other parts of your life, and you will not know what is why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. And I'll kind of share with you why. Because your work, which is your 5th pillar, which is kind of like, I look at this as the foundation and work as the the tower that goes up, because work is what everybody sees, right? The foundation is what nobody sees. But is the foundation deep enough to carry the tower that you're building?
That's good.
Right? So starting with that, then if you go to, I know who I am, I know where I'm from, and I know where I'm going because that's my purpose. That then fuels and funnels your mindset. So mental, that's the mental pillar. Most people are trying to brute force their way through entrepreneurship, through work, through all of these things, but it might be going in the wrong direction. So you want to get into real estate because you watched a video on somebody that made a lot of money with real estate, but that's not really what God called you to. Mm-hmm. And so you thought that you were going to be fulfilled. You have the money, you have the big home, but now you still feel empty. That was me, right? Got the Wall Street job, got all the things, but still felt empty. Because when you're outside of your purpose, you could still achieve, but you're going to still feel empty. But you could say, a lot of this, you could still say, I need better boundaries. And maybe, but maybe it's not boundaries. And this is kind of where I'm going with this, because if these things are not filled up, you could call it one thing, but it really is something else.
Wow.
Because if any of these are deficient,
There's a deficiency.
there's a deficiency.
Yeah.
Then you're going to feel it, but you may not know exactly what to call it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So you might just be kind of reaching out to different things. Because I could tell you, the more all of these pillars are filled, bro, I don't even know what burnout is called. And I work hard. I am up at 4 a.m. every single day. I go.
Hustle is an understatement for you, huh?
I don't see it as hustle.
You don't see it as hustle.
It's
No grind. It's just go.
This is just me fulfilling God's work. Wow. And I'm convicted by that.
Do you live by the 6-1 rule?
What's that?
Work 6 days, rest 7?
I've started implemented rest. Today's my rest day.
Sabbath for you?
The Saturday. That's when I do way more chill, way more. It wasn't always like that. But I feel like I have so much micro rest in my days that, not that I don't need it, because I think I do, but bro, I spend time with my family a lot, bro.
That's dope. I love it.
During the day, randomly. Now my wife has us, like, we eat together every evening now. So it's different cultures when my son is with us, where he lives up north, and so he comes with us in the summer.
Okay.
So the culture changes once he's here, because he's here, right? But when he's not here, there's a different culture. And it's a similar culture. It's just like he has different needs. He's 16. He's a grown man. There are things that we probably need to do that we probably wouldn't do when we running around with the 2-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Keston's son is in the back, by the way, man.
Yeah, he's with me. So that takes me to the relational pillar. Because if we go to the relational pillar, I'm not only talking about marriage, I'm talking about the relationships with your
children,
kids. Wow.
Come on. Expound on it, baby.
Because, and my son could call me a liar, keep me honest here. Every day, around the same time, I call him. Every day. FaceTime.
Is that a fact?
FaceTime, or it could be we don't talk on the phone as much. And when I call him on the phone, it's probably because I'm in the car and FaceTime doesn't work. It's disabled because it's connected to the Bluetooth in the car. But why? Because I have a system that is like from this time to this time, throughout my day, doesn't care what I'm doing. I'm calling my son. I'm calling my parents. They live in New York. I may reach out to some older friends or whatever, because that connection with relationships is one of the most unspoken desires that people have, but they don't know they need.
So your relational intelligence is up there that a lot of people don't have. I didn't have it for a while. Yeah. I had to go through counseling, therapy to understand it, because I was raised by a single mom. My mom is from Queens, by the way. You know, single mom, raising two boys. I didn't understand the totality of relational intelligence,
dude.
So
I'm actually relational intelligence certified.
Because it makes sense though. You're even talking about your son, man. You're not just a father. You're a dad. You're present. Like this time, calling my son. This time I'm reaching out to my parents. This time I'm reaching out to those friends.
Yeah.
To me, that's so profound, because a lot of people, they don't understand like the context. Like for me, the biggest currency is relationships.
It is.
And my money, I don't care about money. It's about this.
Yeah.
That's the greatest currency for me.
Every dollar you get comes from a relationship. Your clients that pay you, it's a relationship.
I had a guy, matter of fact, he's well off. He said, I don't like people. I'm like, dude, how do you make a lot of money if you don't like people?
Yeah.
I don't deal with that. My team does. I'm like,
yeah.
But you got to deal with people. 100%. Like, how can you not like people and, but yeah.
And anyway, that different, no, I'll say it. Sometimes I say the same thing. I don't like people, but I'm such a people person. And I think what I'm trying to communicate when I say that I don't like people is that my gift comes from studying people. And so my capacity gets to max often. I only have so much that I could give to the outside world. People think I am an extrovert. I am not.
I was gonna say you're definitely introvert.
Definitely. But here's what I would say. I don't even think introverts is a thing. I don't think it's a thing. I don't think it's real, because
sorry, son. Mason, love you. I think my son is an introvert. Like my wife, they're just my wife, of course, as a business, she's out, but bro, she's in a shell. So it's not a thing.
I'll tell you. So you said your wife
and my son
and your son.
Yeah.
Are there times when if in an environment that your wife would be in where she would seem as an extrovert?
For sure. Absolutely. Last night we went on a date. She's mingling and I'm like, oh wow, like she feels safe. She feels comfortable.
I believe every introvert they are in an environment where they don't feel safe or is not fulfilling the thing that actually fuels them.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
I would look like or seem like an extrovert when I'm talking about things that really matter to me.
Good. That's so good, bro. That's so good.
When I'm in an environment where it doesn't matter or this just isn't my thing, I seem like an extrovert because I'm in the wrong environment. And every time I'm in the right environment, personal development or coaching or where I could empower people or just be around people as being empowered, I seem extroverted. And so I may say I don't like people when I'm in the wrong environment.
That's so good. It makes so much sense. Perspective,
It's
people.
the perspective.
Perspective. Listen, guys, man, we're going to have Keston's credentials, his TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of that in the description below. Before we head out, brother, is there anything you can leave the people that they can hold on to going into this week, going on to this season, this month, that they're like, I got some valuable information, but I need that one thing that can change the trajectory of my life? What would that be?
The one thing that would be able to change the trajectory of your life is what we were actually just talking about. And I think it's one of the most unspoken facts. And I don't know this because I'm guessing it. I know it from data from my clients. The one thing that could change your life is improving your relationships, starting with your significant other at home. Because being on opposite sides of the table or being disconnected is draining you more than you know. Not being connected, being more coordinated than connected is draining you more than you know. Disconnected, meaning you talk about bills, you talk about the kids, you talk about just daily stuff. And that's great. The house is operating. Connected, meaning being able to talk about the weight that you're carrying, being able to talk about the goals that you have, the dreams that you have, the dreams that she has, just being connected beyond transactions is the one thing that changes everything. And I know it seems like fluff, but I promise you, you get connected with your person, anybody that has that level of influence in your life, the fuel that you would have, you'd break through walls when before you'd have been like, oh, this is a wall, I'll just turn back.
So powerful. Listen, guys, we're going to do a part 2 to this. We're definitely bringing Keston back on. One of our longest interviews by far, and I wish we can keep going, but we got to respect brother's time, man. But again, guys, make sure you guys like, subscribe. We'll have Keston's credentials in the description below. So if there's any value that you receive today, make sure you guys tap in with my brother. He's out here doing dynamic things in real time. Bro, we truly appreciate you, bro.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you for being on the platform. And till next time, bro, we'll see you soon. God bless.
Peace.